Hi y'all, Carol again. Happy summer. And what I'm getting from a lot of you people is what should I do for the summer to make myself more valuable once I graduate? Or you just graduated from the university and you're going, what should I do? Should I go ahead and go into law school? So I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can because there's a lot of things I want to chat with you about because I'm getting those questions. So first of all, the biggest thing is a little bit of a personal coaching thing, which is the biggest thing is you're asking, should I go to law school? And I've answered this question before in that you really have to consider why you would be doing it. And chances are if you've graduated the university and you're wondering what should I really go to law school, this would be a great chance for you to, if you're not getting that summer job in a law office as a paralegal or as a file clerk or as a receptionist, for whatever you can get really in a law office so you can kind of get an idea of what kinds of things happen, you should really be regrouping. And as part of that regrouping process, you should really get to where you begin, if you don't already, you should be owning your life. And by that I mean you should be unplugging yourself from people's expectations of what you should and should not do. And you should be really considering what you want to do because this is your life. So you should really take a look at yourself, consider what is it you really want to do. And, if the lawyering thing or law is something that's always fascinated you, that's wonderful because you really can get something tailored specifically to what you want to do because there's a wide variety of lawyering to be done. But one of the things about lawyering is that you are advocating for your client or representing someone else. So you really have to get yourself into a mode of speaking up. And part of that speaking up is you have to learn to speak up for yourself, because if you can't speak up for yourself, you can't speak up for someone else. So that's part of what I'm telling you. You have to unplug from what other people expect and what the norms are, and you have to really get in tune with what you like to do, your desires. And but as far as I guess arguing the law, one of those things is, part of your learning process there, if you haven't learned it yet, is how to advocate for other people. Because not only is that part of, the whole speaking up, owning things, part of that process, but you really have to believe in yourself and in your value and what you can contribute. And to do that, you have to find that thing that you're seriously passionate about. And like I said, there's a wide array of lawyering to be done. So you really just have to kind of stop trying to fit in with other people or any groups or doing the right thing and do that thing that you really believe in. So on that note, the second suggestion I have for you is for you to get a mentor. And you can get like a constructive mentor, or you can really get an actual mentor. And by that I mean making that distinction. I'm deliberately making that distinction because when you get like that constructive mentor, it's kind of that person that you come to, but there's no real understanding that that's what you're looking to them for, is that guidance. So, or you find that person, let's say like Sandra Day O'Connor as a justice, and I want to mold myself into whatever she's done. That would be another way of finding a mentor, is find somebody who's already done that route and copy their route. That would be the next thing after you've figured out what you want to do. So the constructive mentor would be either finding somebody out there who's already done it, And then there's the actual mentor, you know, somebody, and I suggest that you really get on board and you get them on board with you, get this person on board with you, and actually ask them to mentor you. Because when you actually ask them to mentor you, they will know that you're their, that they're your go-to person and that you have that expectation. And, you know, it'll allow you to really build that relationship. And, you know, by having that specific understanding, your relationship with that person will actually be hopefully more enhanced, right? Because they know that there's that kind of exclusivity between you two, and that you're looking to them and, you know, they are ready to give you advice. So let's look at the different types of lawyering that there is to be done. You know, like I said, there's all kinds of lawyers. And some of the lawyers that, there's different kinds. There's like the litigation lawyers, you know, like the ones you see on The Good Wife, you know, whether they're doing actual litigation or say criminal prosecution. Those are like litigation court type of lawyers. And then you have like the administrative action lawyers, and those are the guys that work pretty much with agencies. They'll do like immigration or workers' compensation cases, the injured workers. And then you have like the transactional lawyers, the lawyers who don't really file things with the courts, but they make these contracts happen, you know, like the mergers and acquisitions types of lawyers. Those guys are largely transactional, although they may have to file things with the SEC, which in part makes them kind of an administrative lawyer because they're filing things with the Securities and Exchange Commission, for example. But so those are the different types of lawyers, are the ones that do the transactional stuff. So that, you know, right there I've given you three different, and then the fourth one would be like the governmental agency lawyers. So those are the lawyers that say work for the post office, or, you know, they work for, say, like the transportation systems, you know, and they're doing things like negotiating real estate takeovers, you know, the purchase of land. And then you have, like I said, like the ones that represent the actual government agencies, like say the post office. And so they handle various things within the organization. So maybe, and those would fall into that other category of organizational type of lawyers. So those are kind of the four different types of lawyering that that could be done out there. So you have like the actual, like the litigation type, the lawyers that actually show up for court. They have to follow rules and deadlines, or know their way around things pretty well. And then you have and that's where you would do things like the probate courts, trust, wills, and estates. You would do the litigation. You could do the criminal stuff too. If you do the administrative type, like I said earlier, it would be the immigration, the workers' comp, even the tax lawyers. Those would also be considered like administrative agency type lawyers. Then you have the government lawyers, and then the organizational ones, which I mentioned last. So it really is a matter of what kind of law do you want to do. I mean, if your favorite hobby is golf, for example, you could go work for the PGA, the Golf Association, right? So that would be one thing. And I mean, that would be like the ultimate, right? You could work for the association, the Golf Association. And there's all kinds of things you could do there. That would put you in like the organizational. If your thing is, you know, I like to work for women's rights, you might be doing like the organizational type of lawyering, which would mean you could cross over. And so the organizational type of lawyering might mean you would work for a nonprofit. that helps women with crimes that are typically committed against women. And then you would be in the court system helping them out. So you could do that, or you could do like the, if homelessness is your thing too, you could be working for an organization or a charity that handles or represents homeless persons in, say, the criminal court system because they've been convicted of something. Or like here in LA, some of the homeless will be cited, or last I knew, they were cited for not picking up their tents by a certain hour. So those are things that you could do, and but it's a matter of what you really want to do, what excites you, because that's the thing that's ultimately going to drive you, and is going to really push you in your most challenging times, because you got to be doing what you want to do, right? Because in your most challenging time, when you hit that bottom part of, oh my God, should I really be doing this? It's going to give you, that desire is going to give you the energy to really dig your heels in and get your hands dirty and, dive into that work so that you can become a phenomenal lawyer and get the results that you think your client should get, within whatever system you choose to work in. So that's the little bit of advice that I have to offer you. And, have a great summer, have a great time of reflection, which brings me to a by the way thing. Bill Gates' father, Bill Gates Sr., in his book, Showing Up for Life, so that would be the recommended reading. In that book, he cites a lot of the things where Bill Gates became, Bill Gates Jr. became what he became. And he even goes into the details of how Bill Gates, takes like a week off or 10 days, something like that. And he takes that time off and for reflection. So basically, for regrouping and reconsidering where he's at in life, reevaluating, and then deciding what his next steps would be for the upcoming year or for the next couple of years or whatever it is that he's thinking. But that would be the thing. If you have nothing else to do this summer, if you're not going to be clerking or whatever, or working in a law office getting your feet wet, you should take that time to seriously reflect on what your passions are and what kinds of things, what kinds of patterns of behavior you need to shake off and change so that you can own your life and become the kind of lawyer or make the changes, become the kind of lawyer and make the changes through lawyering that you want to see in the world. All right? So y'all have a great summer. I'll talk to you next time. Until next time.